Alright, I'm Sensei Iavarone and we're going to work on wrapping our hands. Okay, the importance of wrapping our hands is so we can get some wrist support and also protect our knuckles. When we're hitting the bag in a beginner kickboxing class, for instance, we're going to be throwing a lot of punches, so we want to make sure that we're hitting with the power and the speed that we want, but we're not worrying about hurting ourselves. So the first thing you need is a good pair of wraps. These wraps here, Tiger equipment, is the only equipment that we allow in Tiger Schulman's. So you get yourself a pair of wraps, and the main difference is that these are stretchy, right? Sometimes you'll find them in different stores, but those wraps, they don't stretch. So what's going to happen is they're going to fall off and they're going to loosen up real fast. These have that stretch, so they're going to stay tight and going to make sure that they're really going to be a good product. Now, take the wrap, roll it out first, find the end. Okay, it says this side down. You're going to take that, I always start on the thumb. Right, you start on the thumb and you get a nice length of the wrap, put it on your wrist. Wrap around. 1, 2, then I go to my hand. I'm going to go around the hand a little bit. So now it's started, it's got a good base. Alright, go back to the wrist. There's no right or wrong way to do it, it's whatever makes you feel comfortable. I just like to make sure that I'm going around the wrist, and once I get to that point of the hand, I'm going to take it, go underneath, and then I'm going to start going through the fingers one at a time. And what that's going to do is going to give the extra protection to the knuckles. So I go through, make sure it's, always try to make sure it's flat as you're going through again. Thread it through the middle, again one more time, through the last one, and now you got to cover that. So I go back to the wrist, and then around once, twice, now I'm going to go back to the hand. And as you see, going through and around will make it nice and neat. Again, so every time I go around once, I just give it a little tug, not too tight, you don't want to lose circulation in your hand. So around again, to the wrist, back to the hand, back to the wrist. You can go around the thumb even, alright? I don't usually, but you can if you have any issues with your hand. Wrap around the wrist, and you should finish. Remember how I said start this side down? You always should start like that. One tip is that if you wind up the other way, if you made the mistake, you always can give it an extra twist at the end, so that way when you wrap it around, you're going to go, and then the Velcro is going to meet, and just give it a little turn. And when you're training, you might also have to tighten it up. So instead of having to rewrap your hand, just grab it by the wrist and a little tighten up there, and that's how you wrap your hand, nice and strong.